Digging Deep, a Survivor podcast. I am your host, Lollie Pop. I am joined by my co-host today,
Layakat.
Yippee! We decided to podcast from the beach today. It is a Survivor day, and so we decided to do it from here. A little bit of fun, a little bit of extra immersion for you guys. Are you ready to talk about the episode, Laya? How are you? How did you enjoy it?
I enjoyed it. There was one part I really enjoyed, and I have a lot of questions. I have a lot of questions.
That is wonderful to hear. I have a lot of opinions, actually. This one, especially after the kind of... Okay, I'll be honest about it. I know that there was a 3-2-1 vote split. I still think last week's episode is a little bit of a snooze fest.
Yeah, compared to weeks. I really felt like last week kind of felt like a nothing burger.
It was a little... The most climactic thing was who went home. It was a little bit of like, you know, the same people are going to tribal again. Oh, God. Christian and Emily and Ozzy are at another tribal. Oh, boy. So it was a little lackluster. There's like 20 minutes spent on Zach Brown, even more if you count the challenge. It was a broken up episode. It didn't have very good flow. So I think it suffered a little bit. And I think they bounced back really strongly with this one.
Yeah, I feel like that's the thing that, like, I didn't want to get too stuck on that, like, but oh my god, them having the random singer in the middle of it was very bad last episode. It took up a lot of time that we could have spent with the actual contestants, and also just really did break the flow. It just felt so out of place.
You know the funniest part about that?
What?
That fish that Zach Brown caught, quote unquote caught, was anchored to the bottom of the ocean. So that it couldn't move and that they could get the shot of him hitting it.
Was that in the episode, or did somebody point that out after
the
fact?
I don't know. I don't have her name. She did it. It was her and a former player. They were doing a podcast and it came out on that. That the fish was like anchored to the beach.
So there wasn't even a point in having him do that.
No, it was just all for like circle jerking Zach.
Okay. Now I dislike it even more.
Yeah, the Zach Brown stuff, it killed the flow of the episode because it was 20 minutes or so where even when players were talking to the camera, it was about Zach Brown. It wasn't about gameplay. We didn't learn anything from them. We didn't get any new information. It was just Zach Brown, Zach Brown, Zach Brown.
I don't know who Zach Brown is.
I've heard one song of his, so I was happy to move on from it this week in the show. We should probably move on from it so we don't just become lampooning it too much.
More sense if it would have been like Billie Eilish, since she actually has an idol.
Yeah, I would have liked seeing her too on the island. So the episode starts. Vatu, the purple tribe, they come back from tribal. Ozzy's on his high horse, and the show is comparing Christian to John Cochran, who played on season 23, and then came back and played and won with a perfect game in season 26, which is he got no votes the entire game to be voted out, and then got every vote at Tribal Council. That's a perfect game. It's only happened twice.
Oh.
And so they were comparing Christian to this guy, basically, because he screwed over Ozzy. And so I feel like a lot of that this season keeps coming up. I'm wondering your thoughts on all of this. The show keeps using the word trauma. I'm curious how you feel about like it being brought up from so many different players. This like idea of old wounds and past scars and stuff, and how that's impacting them now.
I guess they do really just throw out the word trauma for everything. And I guess what I don't get is why they call it trauma, but it's a game where it's about this. Like, that is part of the game, so you should come into this expecting some of that and the friendships you make there to be affected like have that underlining potential for betrayal because of this.
I think we see this a lot in the player split between more emotional players and more game bot players. On any returning player season, you're gonna have like them reflecting on their past gameplay, and I think a lot of the times it can be helpful, like Christian not falling for Mike White's manipulation last week. But then you have the emotional players like Ozzy who like still feels scorn from not even the last time he played, 2 times ago when he played. He's feeling scorned from it.
And it's like, I don't want to like tell you how to feel, but like you keep joining this game that's about manipulating people in a way, and then you're like hurt and betrayed that people are manipulating each other.
I think it's when you have these guys that play honor and integrity, when they are playing that genuinely and someone plays them for it, I think they feel pretty hurt. And then they're like, well, we were trying to do something different with integrity this time and you screwed me. Once again. Like, as if that doesn't happen every time.
I fell for it again award.
Honestly.
Because I feel like even if you want to play with honor integrity, that doesn't automatically make everybody else do the same. You should still expect that. Like, I get that, like, oh, it hurts my feelings because, like, I'm playing with honor integrity. I'm trying my best. But, like, nobody else agreed to do that. You just decided that since you're that way, everybody else should interact with you that same way. Like, if you're going to interact with me, you need to have honor and integrity, but never say that out loud. They never say that out loud. They just kind of have that expectation for anybody planning anything with them.
They'll just tell you that they play integrably and then expect the same of you.
And then, like, I don't know. Ozzy kind of made me mad, like, the fallout around that, because I'm like, you didn't even really ask, like, why they decided to do that. Like, because he was trying to manipulate Christian. He was trying to use, like, his feelings and, like, his betrayal in the past against him. So, like, I feel like that's that's not honor and integrity. That's not that.
No, it's very anti what Ozzy sometimes stands for. Now, he did say he's coming back in as a different player this time. He's coming back as Oscar. And I wrote down here that Christian falls for Oscar a little bit. Because, he's putting on that whole front where he's like, I forgive you, water under the bridge, come here, my brother. And then they hug it out, and Christian's like, oh, wow, mellow Ozzy. And Ozzy's like, I still hate that guy.
Oh, I watched the episode. I know that happens, but it's just so funny hearing you describe it, because that is exactly how it plays out. Just like mid hug, just being like, yeah, I still fucking hate this guy.
He's like, I can't wait to get him out. And so then that also, the tribal makes Steph wary to work with Christian and Emily now in the future, and has her kind of running to Ozzy. I found it in this moment, that conversation they had, I felt like Ozzy was demonstrating his improved ability to gameplay. I also think his inability to let this go is showing his lack of growth.
Yeah, I feel like his inability to let it go also kind of plays into what other people kind of half joked about him wanting a cameo in White Lotus. Because it almost seems more butthurt over something he won't say out loud versus what's actually happening in the game.
Yeah, he almost certainly wanted that cameo, especially if he knew Mike White prior to Mike White's entry into the Survivor world with Divya vs. Goliath. If he just knew him from being a manager in the past at a restaurant he went to, like, I personally would want that cameo, because if you're giving it out to Survivor players, you know me, the past Survivor player. Maybe I wasn't on your season before, but now I was. So now can I get one? I honestly, yeah. I think the White Lotus cameos are kind of cringe to begin with. Like, I think it started off as a 1 or 2 fun thing to do with his friends, but now it's like, I don't watch White Lotus, But I also know that there's a lot of meta around it where it's like the show it announces the next season, and the big question's like, what Survivor players are gonna cameo this time? And it's like it's like it feels less fun when it's like every season it's shoved in there.
Yeah, I do watch what I have seen all the White Lotus, and I will say those cameos are very much nothing burgers.
Yeah, I think
They
like
hype them up, but like they're just like a character that says like 2 lines.
Christian didn't even get any lines. Apparently, his cameo is literally just like him in the background of a shot or something.
I'm gonna look it up.
I think it's because
White
allegedly what I was reading was that it was not planned, but he was in the area, so they were like, "Oh yeah, hop in, hop in."
He's like, I just so happened to be in the area. Remember when we did Survivor together? Remember that, homie? I just happened to be in the area. Every Survivor cameo on HBO's White Lotus explained. Okay, I see why you would be tired of this.
Yeah, like it's that, like it's like okay. I don't even watch White Lotus. It's just like I don't know.
They're very minor. Oh, I see it. Okay, he's literally just in the background. Like, I don't think it's a big deal. I think it's kind of cool. I guess it's just kind of annoying how they hype it up so much when these are just like background actors at that point.
Right.
Like, can we hype up background actors in general if we're gonna hype up these specific ones?
Well, that one guy, the one nerd guy, got a documentary made.
Hmm.
Alright, so anyway, so we move on to Sela, the Orange Tribe. So first thing I have down here is that Old Callow, Jonathan thinks they are running the tribe. Camilla, Jonathan, Dee, and Charlie. I think he thinks those 4 are tight. And really, he's only close with Charlie. The girls are kind of like, they're wary about him. And they kind of start gravitating towards Rizzo. Rizgard, R-I-Z-G-O-D, baby. He's got that magnetic appeal to the women on his tribe, I guess. Even Sari. That is the biggest surprise, is that he wooed Sari really fast.
I honestly think it's just because he doesn't seem like a threat. I feel like it's just like, oh, well, he's never gonna be a problem.
I feel like it's like he's got like the kind of energetic, harmless, like Twinkie energy, you know?
I don't like him.
You don't like him? You don't like Rizgod?
No, I very much dislike him.
What you got against him? You think he's swarmy?
Yeah. Well, can I talk about something he does in this episode?
Yeah.
When he's talking about the one guy that went out because of the injury, he's like, his final words to me were this. And just like made up a bunch of BS. I was like, really?
Yeah.
Really? I'm like, I was just saying about like, oh, it's a show about social deception, this and that. Like, it's all about that. But I don't know, something feels a little scummy about using the fact that somebody had to leave super, super early because of an injury as like a way to get your in.
It was certainly an interesting play. I mean, clearly it worked. Camilla half believed it.
Yeah.
She believed it enough to work with him in the vote for tonight.
I think it's like she said, she's just gonna pretend to believe him. She doesn't actually really fully believe him.
She was like, you knew him for one day. What do you mean he was like a brother to you?
Yeah, like, I guess that's also the other thing is how extra he is about it. I'm like, shut the F up. I know you do not feel this strongly about it. Like, even if you had spent the entire time with him, I'm pretty sure you wouldn't feel that strongly about it. Who's the one that, like, in episode 1, they were, like, hyping each other up, and they're like, I want to work with you. Do you want to work with me?
That was Christian and Devon's.
And is Devin's on a different team now?
Yeah, Devins is on orange. So tonight, his strategy, he was trying to do like an under the radar working with Callow kind of thing, and be like their fifth. Um, so he was connecting with Jonathan. He steps on a duck at one point. Couple little. I thought they sounded like farts, but that was until he clarified that there was ducks out there. That they got stepped on, which is unfortunate. I don't think that SPCA is gonna like this episode, but so it goes.
They stepped on ducks?
Yeah, no, it sounded like farts. It sounded like he just ripped a couple, but he swore he was like, oh, I guess there's ducks out here or something. Did you just step on a duck? Weird. What else is going on Sela? I think it's really interesting that D hasn't been brought up at all as a potential vote when she is a winner. She won her season, and she name didn't come up at all tonight for her tribe.
I guess what season was she in? Because I know one of them was in like the new season, so they were like, nobody knows anything about me.
That was Savannah. She went home already.
Oh, okay, she's gone.
Yeah, D won season 45 and has like a reputation of being like a really dominant winner. So I'm surprised they've let her get any ground.
I'm too then.
It's just because like,
I wonder.
Normally winners just don't last, and it seems like she's just because she not only integrated well with the Callow 4 that was on that tribe because they would have worked with her, but she also then was able to jump into another alliance with Rizgod.
Yeah, I still don't like Rizgod.
I didn't like him
beef
at
with him for some
first.
reason.
I think the whole community did, but like he kind of like watching his first season, you warm up to him.
Yeah, I think if I knew him more, I would probably warm up to him a little bit. But right now, he kind of seems like he thinks that he's this big 5,000 IQ planner ahead of everyone and like the genius manipulator. And it's like, I don't know. You just kind of seem very full of yourself.
I think he's smart, but I think he also like. I think he's overhyping himself a little bit, but I think that's also part of his strategy. Maybe if you overdo it, people won't believe you.
Yeah, that's true. But also, like, if you overdo it, won't people vote you out?
It's a crapshoot because he was talking like big game, and Camilla's like, "Do we really believe this guy? You really? We're all gonna just believe he went deep just because he said it." So clearly it's not like working entirely well.
True. I think also, can we talk about the game?
The challenge?
Yeah.
Let's bounce over to the teal tribe first, and then we can get to the challenge.
Okay.
Because spoiler alert, teal does not win, or teal wins the challenge. So this is the only content we get from them tonight. So if we jump over to Callow, starts off.
Actually, I did have a question about because Teal tribe is a tribe with Coach in it, right?
Yes, that's the Coach tribe.
Is he just known for giving people nicknames? What's that about?
It's so funny you ask because that's what I was messaging my mod about before we started recording this. So his first season, one of his biggest adversaries, he called a dragon, and he was like, he is a dragon, and I'm the dragon slayer, and I will take him out or whatever. And so then he just became the dragon slayer. And he kind of kept that moniker for every other season. And so I think it's hysterical to hear him go, dude, that he goes up to Colby and he's like, now listen to me. There's no more of this rah Dungeons and Dragons crap. None of that. We're not doing that. It's over. It's all about Japanese medieval mythology now. So get on board. So I wrote down the names. So he's trying to get closer with Joe and Colby. And so he says, the Dragon Slayer's no more. I'm now the Tide Walker. And Coach comes up with Joe being named Stonebell, and then he knights him. And then he goes to Colby and calls him the Oak-bound warrior. And then knights Colby.
Yeah, and that's why I was like, for a second, I thought he gave them the same nickname. And then I went back and I was like, no, these are different nicknames. I'm like, did anybody look up the nicknames? Did he just read a book before coming to the show and then that book is what he based all their nicknames off of?
Coach just isn't like an idiot. I wouldn't be surprised if he's read about it a little bit more than one book. It is ridiculously silly. He said it's from like stories and Japanese history and stuff. He was saying this whole time, he's like, now it's all about Japanese history and mythology and stuff.
It's no longer about dragons.
Yeah.
So let's go into the other culture that also has dragons as an even bigger thing.
I love him. Coach is everything that I've wanted on my TV. And I am glad that he has not gone an episode without a confessional. Which cannot be said about...
The show ratings would drop.
So Coach is working. He loves the social game. He sees himself at his tribe's center. He's the core. He's insulated by Joe, Chrissy, Colby, and Genevieve. And then Aubrey approaches Coach to kind of work with him. So now he'd also have Aubrey in the mix, with Tiff being the only one left out on Kahlo from Coach's little club.
It's also like this idea to me that everybody in the tribe thinks that Coach has all this power and like is in charge of the tribe, and because everybody thinks that, it just keeps perpetuating this thing where everybody turns to him as like the I need to get him on my side or else I get voted out. And it just keeps doing that over and over again because people keep turning to him because they keep thinking that, and then it's just a self-fulfilling prophecy at this point. He is in charge of the tribe because everyone decided that they think he is. So now he is.
Well, he is really close with Joe and Colby. That's like their strong integrity 3, right?
Okay.
And then Chrissy came over, or stayed on Kahlo with him during the tribe swap, and he kind of took her under his wing. Whether she appreciates it, we don't know, because we never hear from Chrissy. But we are led to believe she is working with Coach. She's happy to be there. Aubrey now wants to join up with Coach, and Coach accepts her because why not? I'll take another person in my alliance to protect myself with. Honestly, I think he's playing a good social game. I think it's showing how he was able to run a whole cult and get to the end of that one season.
Oh, yeah.
There's definitely, I feel like, some elements of that coming out, like the naming and the stuff. Like, that's trying to, like, keep them, like, close. But it's just gameplay. It's good gameplay. I think he had to fight it. I don't know if you caught it. He did have to fight it. The Dragon Slayer did try to dig itself out of his chest, and he had to calm it down. He had to calm it.
Breathe.
So, if Dragon Slayer stays out of the way, I think Tidewalker will be able to get a potential late game run here.
Do you think they're gonna have him back on for another season?
Coach has said himself prior to this season that he only had one more in him, and he was saving it for something monumental. So this is probably his last go around. I have to imagine this is the last go around for a lot of the old school players. I don't think we ever get Suri again. I don't think we get Ozzy again. Christian, probably we will. Charlie, we probably will. Well, Charlie's new school. Rick will probably see again. But, like, Colby, this is his, like, 4th time, and it's his first time in 30 seasons. Like, he came back because it's a special thing, but, like, I don't see that old man dragging himself back out there, like, a 5th time.
I don't think he should. He almost drowned.
Yeah.
He's can't get. I was thinking about this earlier. I was like,
Well, that's
I
Coach.
really.
Coach almost drowned, not Colby, but yeah.
Oh, sorry.
They're both
So
old
wait,
guys.
there's two of them that said they're not doing anymore.
Well,
Did Colby
Colby never,
is
I
just
think,
kind of.
officially said he's never doing it anymore. I'm saying that at 50-something, he's like half blind, half deaf, and now is injuring himself out there. I don't think he's gonna want to go back out for like a 5th time or
Oh.
whatever.
Oh, I see. I see. Sorry, I just thought you were.
No, that was me putting words into his mouth. I just am assuming he's not gonna be up for another go because they're probably not doing another returnee season for another couple years. So
Till 100.
yeah, God, please no. Okay, so after Kala, we go to the commercial and we come back and we're back to Sela. All we are getting from Sela, or from at least from Charlie, he's still butthurt about this. Rizzo didn't vote for his number 1 to win. He cannot let that go, and I think that's one of those ideas of trauma that's haunting the players this season.
So he just woke him up in the middle of the night to talk to him about that.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about that. So he said it was early in the morning, right?
Yeah.
That was pitch black outside. Rizzo's fetal position in the canoe, and Charlie's like, "So who knows about Billie Eilish? Who'd you tell about? Who knows about our friend Billy?" That's how he phrases it. He says, "Our friend Billy."
Yeah, and I was like, when he did that, when they had the night vision camera on, I was like, what's going on? And then he woke him up, and I was like, why are you doing this right now, of all times? Like,
it's
hello?
Funny. In his first season, Charlie said that all gameplay and important conversations happen early in the morning, but that's kind of what ends up being his downfall. Because he starts saying Jonathan sniffing around about an idol, and Rizzo's like, no, he's not. He's Jonathan. What are you talking about? So he's just not getting it, and Charlie's just coming across like super paranoid. And so Rizzo decides he's enacting Operation Bad Blood, to move on Charlie with the girls.
And I guess it's kind of funny to me because he gets so stuck on this, and that's why I think gets voted, like, why he gets voted out.
I think so too, the fact that he can't just let this go.
Calmly, like, done it and, like, been more smart about it, he could have. But he just kept having to push it and needed it to be something that happened immediately. Like, it was like his, Hail Mary. Like, he had to get Rizzo out. He just had to this time. He couldn't wait one more time.
Well, to Charlie's credit, his thinking being he didn't want Rizzo on a jury where he can vote for not someone he wants to win or whatever. So it had to be early. I think because Rizzo wanted to work with Charlie, but Charlie was being too weird to him, and he caught on. And so now instead of Rizzo getting out, we have Cherie calling Rizzo her boy. So like, and telling him about her advantage, and it's like, he's crazy. He's so good at the social game, getting these old school players to just be like so obsessed with him.
Yeah.
Who'd have thought a guy that calls himself Riz God would get along with like all these older players?
I think honestly, if he didn't call himself Riz God, I would dislike him less.
That's fair.
I feel like it's just like because I feel like he doesn't really have Riz.
It's because his name's Rizzo.
Yeah, that's true. I feel if I just called him Rizzo, I wouldn't dislike him as much.
Okay, so we get to the challenge. It is a double elimination challenge. So winner takes all, no reward. It is just for immunity. I thought it's funny. As they walk in, one of the contestants goes, "Oh, this one's all you, Jonathan." They just like looked at it like, "Oh, nope." So the challenge ends up being, it's a couple parts. There's 2 tribe members out in the ocean on platforms. They have to get over obstacles and collect coconut bags. They have to get 2 bags each. The first person through has to dig sand out from under a log, and then
They love that.
that comes up so much. The sand under a log.
It's so specific.
Because it traps people. If you panic and go too soon, you get stuck there. So the first people have to clear that out. Second set of tribe members are it got a little confusing. They're untying the bags with coconuts and then looking for keys, and then someone else unlocks the thing with the keys, and then someone else frees sandbags, or the unlocking them frees the sandbags. They're sandbags, and then you throw sandbags on a platform up above.
I kind of would like to see them be a little more creative with the games.
The challenges definitely get incredibly repetitive.
They feel like they already ran out of ideas, and it's like, if for your 50th, like for your special returning season, I feel like you should be pulling out more of the stops and not already in like because I don't know how many episodes we are, but we're already in episode 5 and it feels like they're reusing ideas.
I feel like they could definitely be doing the challenges more justice. When they did the second chance season, a lot of the challenges were like, it's a second chance on this challenge, or it's a second chance, like, because the players had played them before, so it was very in line and in theme and stuff, but like, they're really dropping the ball as far as pulling out old challenges not from the past like 10 seasons.
I guess I'm confused because, like, why are we... And this is the other thing, is I kind of don't like how the challengers are like, do this, and then you switch out people. Like, I get everybody has to have a part in it, but it doesn't feel like they're being creative about it. It feels like they're just, like, throwing people out. Like, okay, so we have 5 people, so there's 5 different steps in the challenges, and one step is literally just grabbing this and moving it from point A to point B.
I think it's just because some players won't be able to do stuff, so it provides
true.
a lot of spaces to put other players.
That's true. And like the part with them untying the bags, that did actually that seems like the most boring part, but oh my god, that part.
Watching Tiff, her only content all season basically, watching her whip that around the bags and get Kahlo back into the challenge was insane.
Winning, right?
Huh?
The Kahlo ended up winning.
Yeah. I think they ended up winning because of her.
Because of that.
Yeah.
Because of that. Because they were so far behind because she was untying the bags when people were already on the next step.
They were throwing the sandbags already, and she was like just whipping the ties out from around the bags and stuff.
She had to have practiced that.
It seemed like she was like a veritable like cowboy.
She actually like was spinning them. It's really fun to watch. I went back just to watch that part.
So
she did actually save her team though.
Oh, 1,000%. So Kahlo sits out Colby and Chrissy because Colby has an injured foot now, he reveals. I don't know how much that's going to come into play, but the fact that they mentioned it at all isn't great. But they didn't mention it when it happened last episode, so. And Sela sits out Camilla and Devins on this one.
Does it negatively, like, will people vote people out just because, like, oh, they sat out of the challenge? Or do people not?
No, not necessarily.
Because somebody has to sit out.
If you're out under challenge, like, it's usually someone has to sit out, and usually the person sitting out, a lot of the time they want to, or they recognize I can't perform in this challenge. So sometimes it is strategic. Yeah.
I kind of want, who did you want to get voted off?
From the tribes that went home? Or that went to tribal tonight?
Yeah.
So we have Sela and we have Vatu going home. I called this Survivor 6-7 because it was the 6th and 7th person going home tonight. Per Jeff's own admission, he said we're the 6th and 7th person are going home. Anyway, so we check up with Sela first. We have Rizzo lying about Kyle, which we talked about already.
Yeah.
Camilla's kind of half on board. But I feel like she's so sick of the celebrities because as soon as she heard Billie Eilish, she just closed her eyes.
Yeah, yeah.
She was like, oh, God.
She's like, not this again.
So that's always, it's funny to watch her reactions because she did not have a warm reception to Zach Brown either.
I think, honestly, it's just like, why are we talking about celebrities? Are we not celebrities since we're on TV?
For real. They
Like,
should have had, like, Survivor celebrity players. Like,
yeah! Would make sense.
No. Anyway, it's not worth harping on. Camilla thinks that Charlie is playing a slogan because she already heard about the Idol from Rizzo and the Billie Eilish and stuff. So she thinks that Charlie's playing too slow, and that does swing her ultimately to work with Rizzo and the girls. In this feud, I would have liked to see Charlie stay more, but how this season has been playing out, Rizzo's playing the better game, so I'm glad that he won.
Yeah, as much as I want, like, as much as I'm like, I hope he gets voted out, this and that, he did play a better game there. I feel like Charlie went from 0 to 100 on Rizzo, and instead, if he would have, like, if he would have just, like, tried to play more strategically and slowly build up stuff, like, who they wanted voted out, that would have been better, but he went from kind of being more passive to, okay, we gotta vote him out.
And he just didn't have the social capital for it.
What?
Excuse me. He just didn't have the social capital for it.
No, he didn't. He didn't. He didn't have the Riz.
So we could jump over the Vatu. Christian wants Angelina gone, wants all 4 of them to just vote for Angelina. Real easy plan. Get her out. And we're gonna tell Angelina that we're voting for Stephanie. I wish they would just do Stephanie, but nonetheless. So, Ozzy is saying he wants to blindside Christian instead and get him out.
Riz God is my Stephanie.
I have more just cause though.
Oh yeah, mine's just purely vibe based. Mine is vibe based Stephanie.
The best comparison I can compare is my mod who hates Christian for like no good, like clear, just like the vibes.
Yeah, that's fair.
So Ozzy doesn't trust Christian and he wants his shot in the dark to prove loyalty and that he's not going to try to play it. I think that's usually like I think that's a fine play to do, to give it to someone if they're asking for it, because it's a 1 in 6 shot that you don't go home. Mm-hmm. I don't think that's enough. And you don't get to vote. And so I just don't think it's worth it. So Christian at first is like, he's nodding along, and then when Ozzy turns around, he's like, all right, so that's just my piece. I'm just saying it. Ozzy turns around, and Christian, his smile drops, and he's like, dickhead. And then he just rolls his eyes, and he like looks at the camera. He's like, can you believe this? And so he calls Ozzy a poly prissy pants. And Ozzy's also now trying to get a secret duo with Emily, who is Christian's #1. What do you think of that idea, trying to go to Emily? Because ultimately it backfires, and she goes right to Christian, and they laugh about Ozzy over it. So what do you think of that?
I get what he was doing, but also it goes back to, like, I feel like Ozzy is starting to lose some of the hold that he has.
I feel like the swap plus losing every time has just like, it's whittled away anyone that's worked with Ozzy or wanted to work with Ozzy, and now it's just like Christian and Emily who like just don't trust him and don't like him. And so hopefully the merge will reconnect with Suri, and maybe he can get in with the girls, and Rizzo and stuff. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see how that happens next week on a 17-person merge. Jesus.
Oh wait, are they merging?
Yeah, next week they merge. We'll talk about
Oh.
that at the end. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really know how they like do like the tribe swaps and the merge. That's still kind of foreign to me. Like I know they did the tribe swap, but like I had to ask you like how many times do they do this when it happened?
Well, because they can do it at variable times. I thought honestly they would do it another time this season, but they're gonna be merging at 17, which is astronomical.
What do they normally merge at?
I think the most has ever been like 13. And even that, like one of the players on the season was like, "This is a 13 merge."
This is a 13 merge.
So they're doing a 17 merge. I have to think they're doing a triple elimination or something next episode. But we'll do that.
It's the most they eliminate in one sitting.
There have been tribal councils where 2 players go home at once.
So if they do 3, then that's gonna be the largest.
That would be a record if 3 people went home in not in one episode necessarily, but in one sitting.
Aw. I kind of want to see it then. I want to see people cry.
I want to see what's causes the chaos. Okay,
I'm kind of surprised that nobody's cried yet when they got voted out, because I would cry. I would cry.
I think people are more pissed.
Yeah. But I guess that comes with experience from being in the games before.
Yeah. So before they go to tribal, we check in with CeeLo one more time. Rizza is telling Suri about the Billie Eilish idols. Suri confesses that she has an extra vote. And that Rizzo is very concerned with his legacy and how he comes off as a player.
Yeah, I did actually. He was the one talking about how sometimes you go back to your old seasons and you see how people reacted to you, right? Was it him that said that?
Maybe, I think so. Or how, like, he doesn't have that experience because no one's seen his season, so he hasn't seen the reaction to it, so he can just perform however.
Well, I thought that was good insight, like that he like good self-reflection about like, oh, you may think like you're the best liar ever, then you go back and turns out everyone saw right through you the entire time.
Yeah, it's helpful. I think he is at a disadvantage not having seen his game.
I think so.
Because you also don't see how like the show edits you either. So you don't know like gameplay wise. Because I think like any kind of like returning player season like this, I'm watching all of their games. I'm watching the seasons they play and I'm rewatching them, and I'm watching my own season 50 times to try to figure out what went wrong.
Yeah, I think I would be analyzing everything I did and everything I should have done differently.
I wouldn't do it if I lost. I would do it if I was invited back. I would be like, all right, now I gotta figure out what went wrong. Because before, if you don't get invited back and you just lose, then you're gonna go crazy hyper analyzing it and thinking about it every day. But if you're getting invited back, that's just studying.
Yeah, it's research.
So
when do they know whether or not they'll be invited back? Is that something they immediately get told? Like, hey, would you be down?
it depends. Rizzo and Savannah were told after their season because they filmed like back to back. For the most part, it can take years to get that call.
Oh,
Like,
what's the longest?
Probably Jenna, this season, who last played on season 8. Is it Jenna?
Oh wow, wait.
Yeah, Jenna.
Oh my god, wait. Wasn't there somebody? So the person who played in the first season, Was her she's already gone.
Yeah, that was Jenna. She returned for 8
Okay.
and then didn't come back since season 8. Everyone else that has, like, Colby's first season was season 2, but he played in 20, so he's still played more recently.
Oh, okay. Wow, you're really smart. You know all this stuff.
I do.
You're like an
Um,
encyclopedia of Survivor knowledge.
of a bunch of like useless Survivor. If there's ever a Survivor trivia night at like a bar, oh, I've got that on lock.
It surprises me because like before we started doing this, you never really mentioned Survivor, but then
Because I never have anyone to talk
like the
about
joke
it
about
with.
like when somebody brings up your niche interest and you have to stop yourself from saying everything you know about it.
For real. No, it's just this like I can't, I don't want to talk about it if people aren't interested, and so like I don't want to be on stream and just being like yapping about Survivor, and then people are like, no one watches this show, girl.
What are you
Like, what are you
talking
doing?
about? Oh
Yeah.
my god. Did I tell you what I told my sister?
No.
I asked my sister if she watched it, and she's like, "Yeah, I've started watching a little bit of it. Yeah, I really enjoy it." And I was like, "Yeah, it's kind of crazy sometimes." She's like, "Yeah, it has like that supernatural element to it." I was like, "Wait, what?" And she's like, "Oh, I'm thinking of Lost."
That's
So she was
hysterical.
It was so funny because I was just sitting there confused for like a minute before I was like, "What are you talking about?" Because I was like, "Did I mishear her?" I was sitting there, I was like, "What are you talking about?" I finally
That's so funny. Um, so Celia goes to tribal council first. And before the vote, Jeff hits some really crazy impressions of the cast. What did you think of Jeff's impressions?
Let me go back to that part. What part was it?
Vati's tribal council. Jeff just starts like impersonating Jonathan. He impersonates Colby. It was so funny. He impersonates Christian. I saw a comment saying how Jeff should have like did an impersonation of one of the girls, and then I saw a critique of that comment very accurately stating, do you think Jeff Probst would make a non-problematic impression of any of the women on this season, all of whom are being under-edited currently? Probably would not put it well in his hands to make a non-problematic impersonation of a woman, because he's kind of like he's kind of punching down at the guys, like he's like mocking them a little bit. He would just I think not intentionally, but I think he would be like weird about the girl one.
I do agree that the women are getting under edited. And there's one specific thing that's kind of pissed me off about the women, like the way they're edited.
What's that?
It feels like every time they cut to the women, they're choosing like these moments where it's like them laying down or them like just being like, "Oh, this is my like best friend." Like it feels like the guys, the way they edit them is like, "Oh, look how sneaky they are. Look how like ingenious they are." But then the women when they cut to them, it's just like, "Oh yeah, we're just hanging out. Oh yeah, we're just chit-chatting." It doesn't feel like they give them the same kind of editing. Like they're not showing the moments where they're like scheming and stuff. Cuz
Survivor
like
has a frankly embarrassing history of how it edits its women players, to the point where there's only 2 seasons where women have more confessionals than men. They all like there's been seasons where there's women winners that finish the season with under 20 confessionals.
it stands out very starkly to me because the editing does make it seem like the women just follow along with whatever the guys decide to vote for. But like we've seen them in the first episode, in the second episode, we saw them being clever. We saw them discussing stuff and how they would do stuff. We know that these women are smart. We know these women can think and like make their own decisions, but it feels like the editing really makes it seem like, "Oh yeah, Chris came up to me with this idea and I agreed."
Yeah, and especially it's especially criminal on a season where you bring in 12 really strong strategy women, especially Suri, who's an insane social strategist,
That's
and
what I
then
was thinking of when
they
I said
didn't
that.
they didn't give her a confessional last week. She didn't get one.
Yeah.
That's it. You're gonna have Suri on your show and not give her a confessional? And
And
because ever since like Survivor 41, like ever after that one, the winner has always had one confessional per episode. So basically, the editing has told us that all women are irrelevant except for two of them, those being Emily and Aubrey. Those are
well,
the
also
only
like
two women still relevant according to the edit.
the other thing that kind of makes me mad is just like you'll spend all this time talking about this guy's dislike towards Riz God and how he voted against his friend. And I feel like that issue just keeps getting rehashed over and over again. It's like we don't need to rehash that. We already know he hates him for that. Like, show the nighttime scene. Yeah, because that's insane to wake him up in the middle of the night. But like, we don't need to get him talking about how yeah, it makes me uneasy. He didn't vote for his best friend. Dude, I heard this last week. Why are we rehashing this?
Yeah, that's a fair critique. It's especially annoying when like you have Zach Brown who gets 2 minutes of confessionals. He got more confessional time than like a lot of the women players have gotten all season.
I would say he has more confessional time than some of the women combined.
Tiffany, since she got skunked once again last night, she still is sitting at 27 seconds of total confessional time for the entire season.
Whoa.
And like multiple episodes with no confessionals.
Makes me mad because, like I said, these are nice characters. I mean, not characters, people.
Angelina,
And, like, it does feel like they're getting shafted.
Angelina, who got voted out, she was such a character on her season. Now, some people in their exit press have been saying that there are players, mostly like not naming but suggesting, like read between the lines, it's Angelina. That there are players that were doing things performatively and like would only do certain things when the cameras came around or were trying to get like airtime. And so they came off like kind of inauthentic. And so the producers aren't going to use that. I think that's probably what happened to Angelina. Because it seemed like from what we've seen from her, it seemed like she was trying to do like a greatest hits tour of all of her funny bits from her first season. Like the jacket thing was a bit from her first season. There is a part that didn't make it to the show where she tried to do a negotiation for something, which was like a big thing she did in her first season. So if they think you're going to be performative like that, they are going to hide you. But it sucks because Angelina, by all accounts, was a fan favorite from a fan and hardcore fan favorite season, and you're gonna get her back and not use her. Like it's just a letdown more than anything.
So it's like, I get that it feels performative, but why not include it and have the fans decide whether or not it's too performative?
Or like still include other stuff. Like apparently she had a whole conversation with Aubrey, and like there was a whole thing that happened with Aubrey and her that like would have been really good TV and content, and they just didn't show it.
Yeah,
and
that's dumb.
That would have been more content for Angelina. It would have been more content for Aubrey, which Aubrey right now all she has is like wah, 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 I'm off to a horrible start and I can't find my footing and people don't like me and I only have one friend. And like, that's not a very flattering edit either.
Oh, it's not. I guess that's the other thing is like, it kind of makes me wonder like how much the women are doing behind the scenes that just we never see.
I'm almost wondering if a man wins the season. Not just because of the women being under edited, but because the women have won the majority of the new era seasons, and when you watch them, it feels a lot more balanced in the editing because the editors are trying to show the social gameplay of the women winners because they don't do this like dominant strategic whatever a lot of the time. So it's it's tough. So it's the fact that we're seeing a lot of this like dominant strategy. It's kind of making me think it's like a man that wins because this is how they usually play.
Yeah, I also am gonna be just a little bit mad if it turns out that the person that wins is a woman because it does really seem like they put them on the back burner most of the time just to turn around and them actually be one of the winners. It's like, oh, because
That would be very upsetting if like
there's no person that like has enough confessionals for the women's side to like actually feel like they're gonna be the winner.
it's really only Emily and possibly Aubrey, assuming she wins and out against Genevieve and gets more content. But otherwise, all the other women are eliminated based on lack of edit from
Yeah.
zero confessional episodes.
I feel like also like it's weird to me that they say they cut out some stuff because it feels performative, but like, and this is just his personality, so it's nothing against him because I like him as a person, like in the show. But Christian feels like at times performative, and it's like you don't cut out his moments that feel like he's setting up for entertainment, but you cut out other people's.
Christian comes off a little bit like very performative this season for sure.
Hmm.
Um, and I love Christian too. Everyone loves Christian. He's great. He does come off very performative, or like he like rehearsed things to say beforehand. And Angelina kind of was trying to suggest as such by saying she could hear him talking through the walls at the before the season started at that on that island. I think that he's just like a neurodivergent king that was just rambling to himself and strategizing. But it could come off as like he was rehearsing things to say.
I also feel like this obviously I don't know him. He's just a person I watch on TV. But he comes off the type of person that is just performative in what he does. Not in a bad way. Not like performative as in he doesn't actually like there's two types of performative to me. One where you're performative and that's not really who you are, you're just putting on like a front. And two, you're performative like you're an entertainer. Everything you do, you kind of do it in a way that you want it to be entertaining to the people you're talking to or like the people you're interacting with. So like that's what he comes off to me as somebody who just like when he tells a story, he wants to tell the story good so that people are like listening and amused by the story the same way he felt amused by it when it happened.
I would agree with that. I think Christian's biggest thing with this season is he wanted to be this season's narrator. I think he's getting that wish. I think a lot to the detriment of the people getting voted out, feeling scorned.
Mhm.
I think he's certainly the season narrator. He spoke preseason about wanting to eliminate Mike White because Mike White also likes to angle for that narrating position, and so
It's funny that
that's
Mike
that.
White out because of this.
Yeah,
And then you look at the preseason. Yeah, I want Mike White gone.
he's like, well, because he's like, I want to be the narrator. I want to be the narrator of the season,
Is there
basically.
always like a narrator this season?
It's like unofficial. There's like usually like one or two players that give really, really, really good, strong confessionals, and so the show just always goes to them for their opinion and stuff.
Oh, okay.
So Christian's one of the better narrators the show's ever had. Devon's is another good one. And so Christian's almost certainly performative to an utmost degree, but I think he's giving the show what they want, which is why they keep showing him, because they want that guy that's like gonna wax poetic about the gameplay, and that's gonna like say great things about how hard it is to do, and cry and pause at the right moments and be artistic and not just like talk at the camera.
Okay. That makes sense.
Because it helps with, it keeps people engaged if you have an engaging player that knows how to perform, basically. But you are correct that he comes off performative.
I see right through you. Okay. What else we
Last thing is just Sela going to tribal.
Oh my god, when I was watching it and you messaged me earlier asking if I had watched it and then I saw Christian's name start popping up as a potential, I was like, "Oh no. She asked me this because she wanted to know if
Oh,
I saw that my favorite got voted out.
no, I just wanted to
And
make
then he didn't get
sure.
voted out, so
No. Can I be honest with you?
yeah.
This is going to be a little bit of edgic, so if you don't like that kind of spoilery stuff, look away.
It's gonna be what?
Edgic, editing logic.
Oh, okay, yeah.
For in the season 50 preview, not coach. Why did my thing stop tracking? Bruh. Okay, okay. In the trailer for season 50,
Mhm.
Christian says something to the effect of like, Jimmy Fallon's deciding my game tonight or something. And Jimmy Fallon is confirmed to be a part of the season in some way. He's the 4th celebrity confirmed.
Oh.
And since he has not been mentioned at all, I knew he had to be safe, Christian.
Oh. Oh, that makes sense.
So I've been feeling comfortable about Christian for a little bit for that reason. Rizzo, similarly, I didn't know this. I just saw this on Reddit. You can hear Rizzo screaming in the Mr. Beast reveal in the trailer. So that lets you know that Rizzo also is going to survive last night. So really, both votes were kind of spoiled in the season 50 trailer if you were really looking at it.
Why didn't they Okay, I guess it makes okay. I'm surprised that they had 2 in the same night that were in the trailer.
It's more like stuff that like if you were squinting, you could like you're like wait, but like I couldn't hear Rizzo in the Mr. Beast reveal. I couldn't hear him yelling. Like I
Oh,
wasn't going that hard. That was just something I saw online, so I'm like okay,
question.
yes,
Uh, they organize the votes, right? Like, because every single vote so far has been like this person, then this person
yeah.
A,
So
person B.
when Jeff goes to count the votes, basically what he's doing is like layering them in a way that's like the most dramatic reading.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, they plan that for sure.
Can I get a little bit more drama, please? Oh, have you ever watched Total Drama Island?
I have not, but it is inspired by Survivor, so I have kind of wanted to.
Oh my god, we should watch that together.
I would love to. Um. So Sila's tribal ends with Charlie going home. He lost in the fight against Rizzo, and then they reveal in the next time on Survivor that it is a 17-player merge next episode, and it looks like there's a lot of chaos that unfolds on the beach, a lot of running around and stuff. So maybe there's there's an idol hidden, go find it, or like an advantage. The next immunity challenge is in the jungle, go look for it, something like that, because they've done that before. I'm excited. I think I was not expecting a merge this early. They usually do it around episode 6 or 7, but
7.
this early or with this many players feels insane. I was expecting either more double elims pre-merge or more time before the merge. Because there's a crazy amount of players left.
That is a lot compared to like what they had before.
They're basically gonna have to eliminate a player a day. Because no, either that, I don't think they have enough time. Because they have 26 days left. I think tonight's episode was up days 9 through 11, so 14 days to get rid of 14 characters. But also one of those days has to be the final tribal, so even less. It's just gonna be tough. It's gonna be a speed run of Survivor. It'll be exciting to see it play out. I hope that the boot order doesn't start to like really go downhill. Because losing Angelina is tough, but the fact that she was under edited to an insane amount makes it a little easier. Like if we lost like a big player, like or a character this season, like or Devons or something, that would have been hard. Do you have any more final thoughts on the episode, Laya?
I'm excited to see the merge.
I am too. I'm hoping they have an auction too. The chaos running around the jungle made me think of when they did the I guess season 45, like running around the jungle looking for money for the auction. So I think Mr. Beast is going to show up at the auction. So I'm hoping that will happen this season. I'm excited to see Devins and Christian come back together as well.
I am, but also I'm kind of hoping it's not gonna be like, oh, we're back together, but we already have new number ones.
No, I doubt it. Devins was kind of on the bottom of his tribe after that vote because he was trying to vote out Rizzo, not Charlie. So he'll almost certainly be excited to come back to Christian, and Christian's gonna be happy to be off that disaster tribe and be like with some of his people again. If you can link all this to Ree, maybe, and like maybe you could make something with Rizgod, that could be a good route for Christian.
Mm-hmm.
But it forced him to work with Ozzy again because Ozzy and Sari are together. So that's not Christian's whole game has started to get a lot messier in the last episode or two. And I feel like his path to the end has gotten a lot more complicated. Anyways, that is going to be the end for us tonight.
Hit the button. Ignore me.
A shorter one here. In prep for a big episode. Hopefully next week's is like 2 hours. That'd be cool. Probably won't be, but that'd be cool. Usually we stream